are here at the Rec Center, and we are providing you with an art project if you want to do something at home. This is a simple Zentangle project that you can use with pretty much any supplies that you have at your house. I'm going to be using some mixed media paper, it's thick paper, and some crayons, Sharpie, and scissors. So that's pretty simple supplies that I have here. You probably have at your house as well. And I thought this would be something nice that you could do. You can make at home and then put it out in your window for people on the streets who are walking around to see, brighten their day. So we're gonna start with, as you can see, I did a rainbow design. You can do any kind of design you want. You can do, an ombre from dark red to light red or pink. You can do stripes, you can do polka dots, you can do a solid color. You can use paints, you can use oil pastels, you can use chalk, you can really use any kind of medium as well. But for this project, I used crayon just because I like the way that it shows up on the mixed media paper. So I will start with using a red, and the way I used, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I used 10 colors, so I kind of divided up my sheet into 10 parts, and that I just did with the crayon. That way I know how much space I have for each color. And again, I just winged it, it's just a guess. But when I'm using the crayons, to me, I think it's important to shade and to color going in the same direction. That way the crayon stays solid and the flow of the crayon is all going in one way. And I like to keep going over what I already did just because it makes it really bold and nice and bright. And again, I am using a mixed media paper because it's bumpy and it is really textured, and I like that because I like how it still leaves some of the white showing after I get done doing the crayon. So this is a really good arm workout too. When you're doing this at home, you can put on some music in the background or listen to podcasts or put on a show on Netflix. I know everyone is binge watching shows right now, but I kind of want to leave the first line uneven. That way when you use your next color, you can blend it in easier. And the next color I'm going to use is a kind of like a fire orange, and as you can see, it really blends in nicely, so you don't have to spend a lot of time carefully coloring. You can really just go up and down because it will blend in nicely with the red. And as you can see, I am still going in that same direction, and I'll continue this direction throughout the entire project. That way there is some same direction continuous going on there. Go. Okay. So there is the second one. I'm going to use a marigold yellow. I really like the marigold yellow because it's got an orange base to it and it will blend really nicely. But it's really relaxing coloring. There's a lot going on right now, and it's nice to just sit back and color. I don't think we do that enough. There's the marigold. All right, so we're about done here. Just kind of fill in any gaps that I've left, and your finished product should look something like this. And again, depending on which colors you use and which patterns you use, this is my finished product. I like that I've colored the entire space. I haven't left any major white space because it just really pops up more and will show up really nice in the windows. So now that we have our background done, we're going to make Zentangled shapes. And Zentangle is pretty much just a repetition of patterns or doodling. And as you can see, I've used a lot of different patterns in my heart. You can do any kind of pattern. You can do letters, you can do your name, but I like to stick to a lot of dots and lines and squiggles. So, and again, you can do any shape. I chose a heart, but you can do circles, you can do squares, any kind of shape that you're interested in. You can even do your first letter of your name and doodle inside of that. So I've started here with drawing a heart, and with a thick Sharpie, I went over it just so it kind of pops. So when I cut it, I like a thick border. And I like to use a really fine point Sharpie for Zentangling or for doodling because you can really get those details. And the first way that I start is I divide up the space. So instead of looking at the whole heart and wondering how I'm going to do the patterns, I just focus on one part. So I just kind of draw it like that, and then I just look now at that small piece so I don't get overwhelmed. And I think for this one, I will just start simple stripes. And this is a really relaxing activity that you can do anywhere. You can doodle outside, you can do it in your room, you can do it in your living room. Okay, I think I like the way that looks. Nice and simple. Might just make another pattern over here. Maybe for this one I want to do some circles with dots around it. The way that looks. And I might take this like that. Maybe I'll do kind of like a scalloped. Okay. Now I want to add a little bit more black to it because I'm leaving a lot of white space. So I like to combine some black with white. So I think for this next part, I might draw some circles that I'm going to leave white and then color in the rest with the black. Okay, and I might take another pattern. And this one I think I might do a big swirl. And it looks like a snail. There we go. More scallops with some polka dots maybe. This might remind you of the adult coloring books that are really popular right now. It all kind of stemmed from that same idea of relaxing with patterns, a lot of journaling. And this one I'm gonna turn over, make kind of like a wave. And then maybe within each of the wave, do a pattern. This one, I think I'm gonna do some thick black stripes. The options for doodling are endless. You can go on Google and enter Zentangling patterns or doodle patterns, and you will get hundreds and hundreds of ideas. Some get really, really detailed. This one, maybe I'll do like a sun ray. Do that, and then within each of those. I like to do my Zentangling black and white, but when you're done, you can go in and color it. You could use paint. Since a Sharpie is permanent, you can use any kind of water-based paint colors, and it will keep from running. Let's see here, maybe we'll do a swirl. And this is our final piece. So I hope that you will do some Zentangling projects at your house. Again, you can use any kind of medium. The whole idea of Zentangling is just to relax and to enjoy art. Enjoy.